Hello and welcome back to another episode of Entertainment Roadmap. I'm here today with Rachel Leyco and also one of our new co-hosts, Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Rachel. How's it going today?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So we're so excited to speak with you all about your career and what happens in Miami. And to kind of jump into it, when and how did you start acting?
Thanks for asking. Well, I started a very long time ago. I got into acting kind of by accident. In middle school where you kind of have to just choose electives, I like went down the list and I was realized I wasn't good at anything else. I looked at like band. At the time, I was not playing any instruments, sports, no athletic bone in my body. And then there was like art and drama. And I was like, okay, well, I love art. Like I can, let me try this. And when I started drama class, I just fell in love with it. And I just caught the acting bug. I think what I really loved about it was I was actually growing up a very shy kid, so it helped me just get out of my shell more. It helped me to like creatively express myself. And it was just so cathartic and so fun. And yeah, so I since then I just continued to take drama theater classes throughout middle school, high school. And then it wasn't until I graduated high school that I took acting professionally and tried to pursue it seriously. And I was raised in Texas, and then we moved to California, and so that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the Hollywood thing. I'm gonna try and just put myself out there, and it's worked out for me so far.
That's so great. And what I really love about your story is how you kind of started when you got older. You weren't like a child actor, because sometimes there's like that misconception that you need to be doing it ever since you were little and start with it. So I like that you have experience as you got older. And I think it's good advice for people watching this who want to get into acting, who are scared it's too late.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's never too late. I mean, there's a case to say like, oh, you should start young and well, child actors and how a lot of them have gone through so much. And honestly, I thought about like, oh, if I started younger in Hollywood, I really don't know like where I would be or how, what kind of person I would be at the time in this moment. But yeah, I feel like there's no wrong or right time. It's just do it. Do it whenever, and it's never too late.
Definitely.
So speaking about, your acting career and, moving forward through it, what was your audition process like for What Happens in Miami?
Yeah, the audition process was fun and it was quick. Honestly, this entire project was very quick. It was a fast turnaround. So last year, we had the SAG strikes. Well, we had the WGA strikes and the SAG strikes. And, there was not a lot of work. And once the strike lifted, I think What Happens in Miami was one of my first few auditions that I had like coming in. And it was like towards the end of the year. I think it was like early December, like right before the holiday break. I wasn't expecting a lot of auditions coming out of the strike. And so it was nice. I was like, oh, this is cool. Seems like a really cool project. And, sent in my self-tape. And I think around like a little bit after Christmas during the holiday break, I heard back that I had booked it. And so it was just off one self-tape, which is wild. I was honestly very shocked and surprised because I thought there would be like a callback or something, but sometimes they say like when you know, and I guess they knew that they wanted me. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's a really quick turnaround. I mean, that was just like 6 months ago. That's really cool.
yeah. That was December. We shot in January for like 14 days. It was very fast. And then the movie came out like just like 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
Kind of going off the 14 days thing, is that like an unusually short time for a movie to be shot in?
I want to say yes and no. I want to say both because yes, in terms of like a low indie budget film, 14 days, which is wild. It is a lot. But in that sense, in like the independent film sense, it's usual. But you know, it's not, because a lot of it really depends on the budget, but most films, you know, will film around like 28 days ish, but that's if you have a really nice chunky budget, you know, and you can take your time. But we were working with a pretty low budget. But I continue to just, even now, like even though we're done with it, every time I just think about it, I can't believe we pulled it off. It was so 14 days, very minimal, like cast crew, but everyone was so professional. Everyone was so just awesome to work with, and everyone was on it. And I think that's how we were able to pull this off in a way that wasn't super, super stressful, where like no one was ripping each other's heads off or anything.
Yeah. I mean, just from a viewer standpoint and not even thinking about budgets, it's phenomenal what you guys pulled off in 14 days. So congratulations, because
Thank
I
you.
can't even imagine being in that time crunch.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I really got to give props to our cast and crew, because they really, especially our crew, oh my God, like Tim, our director, he was just like one of the best directors I've ever worked with, honestly. And he was just not only so professional and so prepared, he was also so kind and sweet, and really knew how to, you know, work with us girls and the entire cast. And then like our makeup department, our costume department, which I am very proud to say we're all like a lady crew. So that was really awesome to like experience on set, you know. And yeah, everyone was just so prepared and so organized and so on it. And I think that's why, you know, the film looks the way it looks. And even, you know, our makeup and hair, and there's so many wardrobe changes, so many hair and look changes that I'm like, I remember like, I don't know, in a day we would change maybe like, I don't know, I think like maybe the max was like six changes in a day, which is a lot. With especially with the minimal crew, you know. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's insane. And kind of getting into your character now. So, how do you relate to Taylor and how do you differ from her?
I definitely, I mean, you know, when I read the script and I read the character description for Taylor, immediately I already resonated with her, just being a queer Asian myself. And you know, so I definitely already resonated with her from the very beginning. And I gotta tell you, I honestly like was so excited to send in my tapes for Taylor, and also to just I had been manifesting playing a queer leading lady role for a very long time. And so it came, and it was just very serendipitous, honestly, how casting and everything worked out. But one of the things I also really relate with Taylor is that we don't really explore this in the film, but just for my like character development that I talked with, I talked to Jackie, our amazing writer, and just kind of the background of character of Taylor's character. She grew up in the church, and I did as well. And so, you know, that's another like struggle that internally Taylor is going through in the film, where, you know, she is trying to get to the place where she can really own herself and accept herself, love herself for who she is and her sexuality. And 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 not only just be brave enough to like, you know that scene that I'm talking about, brave enough to, you know, for her to like really, you know, show herself. And you know, it was actually really healing for me, because I was not able to do what Taylor did in the film, you know, like I had a very similar situation. So that's one thing that I really like connected with in the script. Having a big crush on one of my best friends, and wanting to let her know, and wanting to, you know, I feel like that's a quintessential queer experience for a lot of women. And you know, I didn't get to do that when I was younger, but then Taylor was able to do that. And so I think, you know, through Taylor, I was just, my inner child was healed. And I felt like just her bravery, um, you know, kind of seeped into me as well, into my younger self. And that was very healing, and is very beautiful to experience in this film and through this character. And then what differs is that, well, one, I wasn't as brave as her, but um, I think for the most part in the film, Taylor is closeted. And in this time of my life, I'm very out, very proud. And so, that it was interesting for me to like kind of get back into that place and remember, kind of going back to my younger self of when I was closeted in my early 20s, like Taylor is, and then having to, again, find that strength and that bravery to accept and own who I am.
I think that's beautiful. And I think what's so great about this is, like you said, this was a role you were manifesting, and then it came to you, and it also helped heal you. So I think that, like, just hearing that story, it's a very, I don't know, almost emotional and very, like, inspiring. So thank you for sharing that.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
No problem.
That's really awesome that you did like so much character work, but also kind of like therapy at the same time. I think that's really
Absolutely.
awesome. And I feel like maybe actors don't always get to connect with their characters like that. So I really love that. So speaking about, the film and the different characters, I feel like kind of like girlhood and like female friendships is a huge theme in the film. And I think part of the reason the film works so well is the relationship between all of the girls, whether that's a good relationship or a bad one. But how did you and the other girls kind of connect, before you shot or, while you were on set?
We honestly, we had chemistry right from the beginning. I think we were so lucky and so blessed to have these group of girls. The casting was on point, honestly. We were just so happy and so grateful because um just from the beginning, like actually I already knew Anna Lisa, who plays Autumn. I met her in LA at like this random holiday mixer. So like I think it was even like before I had gotten an audition for this. We had already met briefly and like we hit it off right away at the mixer. Like we were talking to each other the whole night and um there's this LA thing where it's like, hey, like, let's meet up and let's hang out, but then it kind of never happens. So I was not expecting to like ever really see her again. And then turns out we get cast in this film like a month or two later, which is so wild. The universe is so wild. And so I was already so excited. I was like, oh yeah, like at least I know one other person here in this cast. And we already knew like, okay, this is gonna be really good. And then meeting Jada and Ashley and I think the first day that we all met, we were having wardrobe fittings. And so in between like wardrobe fittings, we just like talked to each other, knew each other more. And at least, and we had another one day off right before we started shooting where we all got brunch with like the director and our executive producer. And then after that, like we kind of like all four of us left and just hung out the entire day and in Miami, which was really fun, and explored the beach and everything. And yeah, I think our chemistry was just so natural and organic, and we're all just very like kind, genuine people, which is honestly rare to find in the industry. So I feel very grateful for the dynamic and the cast that they put together.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. And like one fun fact is this podcast actually started because of Annalisa's show, One of Us is Lying. So that's
Oh
how this all came to be because I was a
my
fan and then it like rolled from there. And I had the opportunity to meet Annalisa as well, and such a sweet human being. So I
gosh, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, I think it's so awesome kind of seeing how Hollywood is connected like that. And hearing about all that, just it translates so well on screen how you guys all kind of came together. And I don't know, do you have anything to add, Sabrina?
No, I was just gonna say that I didn't know it was filmed in Miami, and the film works so well in terms of like the setting, and I think that's why, like, you can really feel the Miami energy. Like, I feel like Miami has its own personality almost, and I really felt that in the movie.
Totally. Oh, good. Yeah, I mean it's called What Happens in Miami, like it would be weird if it wasn't filmed in Miami.
Right.
Like I guess you could try to make LA look like Miami, but yeah, they're two different vibes, So I'm definitely glad that that they decided to actually film on location.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. And hearing how like everyone got along really well and you had such a great time. Do you have any favorite memories from filming What Happens in Miami?
Ooh, oh my gosh, so many, honestly. Uh, it's a lot of like, there's so many to be honest. Okay, let's see. Um, One that stands out is because it's just so like I've never experienced it before. Um, we were filming on the beach. And we had trailers like near the beach in the parking lot, and a bunch of peacocks just showed up to set on the by the trailers, like a full family of peacocks. And I've just never seen peacocks in the wild like this in Miami. But I guess that's the thing in Miami. It was also my first time in Miami, so I didn't know what to expect. But I don't know, that just stands out because like I've never seen these like gorgeous creatures just like walking around and right in front of me. So it's just a very random thing. Um, another really great memory is so so we were filming this scene with me, Jada, who plays Shay, and Ashley, who plays Micah. And it's a scene where Micah is we meet up with Micah after she's been interrogated and questioned. And we were, again, the time crunch we're on. So we're trying to like always move fast. And a lot of us girls are, we were very prepared, very, we came knowing our lines and everything. And again, there was like minimal rehearsals. So we were just like on it. And we're filming, and I think this was like midday, and it was like halfway through the shoot. So I think we were like maybe a little bit tired and honestly delusional. And the scene is like we're meeting up with her, and me and Jada are supposed to like come into frame together and like, relay some information. And it was super windy, and I don't know, but it was the way that the blocking was constructed that it was so comical, where basically like, okay, so like you guys are Micah, right? And then like this is me, and then Jada's here. And so the director, Tim, he wanted us to like come into frame together. So the way we came in was like, hey, Micah, blah, blah, blah. And it was just so comical that we broke character and we started cracking up, and then I couldn't stop laughing. I have no idea it wasn't even funny. The lines are not funny. It's this very serious moment, but it was a lot of things. It was like not having a lot of sleep. We were a little delusional. The blocking was very comical. So I started crying laughing. And then they had to cut. And I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I don't know why. I just got to get it out. Our makeup artist was like, she came in, she's like, oh my God, like you're just okay. She had to like fix me up and everything. It was hilarious, honestly. It was really funny. So that definitely stands out to me. Another one that stands out is we were filming on the beach, and I think we had some time in between scenes, and Anna just like started to, I don't know how this happened, but because we were just kind of like sitting around, but we didn't want to sit around. Anna led the cast and crew in a lovely um yoga meditation. Like it was really great, but like on the sand, which is a little hard. But we it was like a 10-15 minute like a yoga routine, which was so lovely and nice. And I just I've never like experienced that on set. So it was, I think that's just a testament to like how awesome and cool and great everyone was on this set.
Yeah, no, all of those are such great stories. And I feel like you always end up laughing when you're not supposed to. Like that's what always happens to me. Like at the moment when it's like, don't laugh, I'm always hysterical. So I can relate to that. And even the peacocks. I live in this small suburban town and like nothing out of the ordinary. One time my friend woke up and there were two peacocks in her backyard. Out of no, like same thing out of nowhere. And they really are like magical to see.
They're so majestic. Like they are beautiful. So like, and you don't really realize like how big they are until like you see them in person. And I was just like, oh my God, like this creature is just, and then yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It sounds like you guys had so much fun on set. I feel like with the time crunch, I would be so stressed about, getting my stuff done and my scenes done. And that's really cool that you guys had such a good time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we definitely, we also, I know I said we didn't have rehearsals, which I mean, we didn't technically, but in between takes or when we would be wrapped at the end of the day or something, like the girls and I would try to at least take some time to go over lines together and rehearse and we would just take it day by day and like we would look at our sides for the next day. And so in between what we were filming that day, we would go over either the scenes that were up next or the scenes for tomorrow.
Mm, awesome. So, speaking of filming, what was your favorite scene to film and what happens in Miami?
Ooh, oh man. Honestly, I think my favorite scene to film was the very intimate scene with Taylor and Autumn. So with me and Annalisa. And that one was, again, very special for many reasons. And it was really beautiful because Tim, our director, decided to have a closed set for that scene. And no one asked for that. I didn't ask for it. Anna didn't ask for it. And Tim just kind of like took that initiative because he knew how intimate the scene is, how emotional it is. And I really appreciated that. And I think that was just such a, it's a mark of a really great director who like really cares about his actors. And so that was already from the very beginning, like just set the tone. And it because even though it's like a really heavy emotional scene, I feel like I don't know, I feel like other actors would be like, oh gosh, it was so tough. Like, they wouldn't choose it to be their favorite, but it was my favorite because again, like I was able to go through that internal emotional journey with Taylor that I really was craving to explore with her. And again, because it was like so healing for me, but I didn't even know it was healing me until afterwards. And Anna was just so sweet. Like, and she plays such a bitchy character, and she plays it well. She plays it very well. But in real life, she is the sweetest girl ever, and just so kind. And like we were just so present with each other, and we were so giving with each other, and we would just kind of check in, and especially her, like she would check in with me because she was being really mean to me. But we would check in with each other in between takes, and we just really took our time with that scene. And afterwards, when we were completely done with it, everyone just gave me like the biggest hug. Tim gave me the biggest hug, Jackie, our writer, Anna, like it was just so sweet. And I felt, very loved and supported through that. And so yeah, it was very, very meaningful for me. So that definitely sticks out to me the most.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially with that scene. As, an audience member who is queer and has experienced kind of the same thing, watching it, I was like, wow, that's really relatable. Um, I'm glad you had a good experience because hearing the reaction after Taylor kissed her, I was like, oh my gosh, I would probably die if that were me. So I'm glad that it
Absolutely.
was a good experience for you and like it was healing for you despite that. I feel like Annalisa kind of, I don't know, if she was really nice to you on set, like that makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, it's, if this were to happen to us, like in real life, yeah, I would be terrified. I would be terrified. I don't know what I would do, but, I think, in that context, Taylor, again, I'm just so proud of her for even being able to step into that and be so brave to, make that move and like stand up for herself finally, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that was really beautiful to hear. Thank you for sharing that. So, what's something that you learned on this set, either from your fellow castmates or crew members that you'll take with you on your future projects?
Hmm. Ooh, I feel like I learned a lot on this set actually. I learned a lot from Tim, just like watching him work as a director. He's definitely like an actor's director, which is awesome, but he's also really great technically. He had such a great vision from the very beginning, and I think that's also why, again, the look and the feel of this is just very high quality. And I just by watching him and his leadership, I really, I took that on as also like a filmmaker myself and learning more about filmmaking. I think what stood out to me, was Tim just being like treating everyone as if like we're on the same level. Like no one is above or below, even if like, in film there's like a, above the line, below the line, like there can be this hierarchy and people can have egos, but Tim did not do that. And a lot of people on this cast and crew did not have that. And I think, him just setting that tone was, uh for me, like I really took that. I was like, okay, that's really awesome. I'm gonna like take that moving forward as well. And then I think from my co-stars, I learned a lot too by just being in the scenes with them and performing with them. And we also there was a lot of room for improv too, for some scenes. And honestly, Anna did a lot of improv. Chris actually did a lot of improv as well. Chris, who plays the Cameron, that guy. um and yeah, I think like just being super present with each other, and being able to like really play with each other during scenes, like it really helps to have really great, co-stars, and it makes things easier and just more fun. And there's yeah, I think like just being able to have that dynamic is so helpful. And I learned a lot about just, yeah, being present with each other and just having fun.
I feel like having fun is so important, especially when all of filming it can be so stressful. So I feel
Yeah,
like having fun with your cast members and then having a director who sets such a good example for everyone, it's like the perfect recipe for a film.
absolutely.
So here at Entertainment Roadmap, we love to do a little hot seat section. Are you interested in sitting in the hot seat and answering some rapid fire questions?
The hot seat. Okay, I'm a little scared, but let's do it.
So what is the last book you read?
The last book I read, well, I'm currently reading, I read a lot of self-help books. I'm currently reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I'm reading that
It's,
too.
oh my God, really? I'm listening to the audiobook.
Okay.
So good. I'm still early on. I think I'm on like chapter 5 or 6, but
It's
wow, what a game changer. Like I'm learning so much from it. So learning a lot of like wisdom from that, and not get it's not about not giving a fuck. It's about figuring out what you want to give a fuck about, which I think is such a great perspective. So I'm currently reading that, but like the last book I finished, I think the last book I finished was Girls Like Girls by Haley Kiyoko.
okay. I've heard of it. I haven't read it yet.
A queer sapphic book, and it is so it's so fucking sad, but beautiful.
Mm. And the song like shaped who I am
Right,
today.
right. I mean, of course, right. As any other queer woman, I feel like that was a time in our lives very iconic, very essential.
Very much so. If you were on a deserted island and you could only have three things, what would they be?
Ooh, okay. Three things. Oh my God. I would definitely have a journal so that I can write and do my morning pages and just write out my thoughts, kind of like therapy. And let's see, journal, a lighter, because I gotta make fire somehow. So survival, that's a survival tool. So lighter, and I'm gonna say sunscreen because my girlfriend is a dermatologist and she would kill me if I didn't say that.
So kind of going with the sunscreen, what's your favorite vacation destination?
Mm, anywhere tropical, honestly. I am an island girl, so anywhere tropical. Um, I I would say the Philippines, where I was born, and I I last year got to visit for the first time since I was like 5 years old. So it was very beautiful and healing. But I wasn't able to like I was only there for a week and a half, so it wasn't enough time. And I haven't been able to go island hopping and go to all the islands and really spend time there, like an actual relaxing vacation. So that is like on the top of my list of, vacations right now.
I've never been. I'm not very well traveled, but I've always wanted to go, so I relate.
Yes. Yeah. I love any like tropical destination. There's so many islands in the Philippines and also it's very cheap there. So,
Mhm. Good to know. Do you have a dream actor or director you would like to work with?
that's so hard. Oh my God. Because I have so many, like I literally have a list on my notes app and it's very long. But okay, let's see. So director or filmmakers, I would love to work with the Daniels. They directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is like, amazing film. I think they are visionaries, so I would love to work with them. And I met them a couple years ago too, and they're just so sweet and just awesome. So I would love to work with them. Um, an actor or actress I'd like to work with, so many. I think I would love to, oh, you know what? I would also love to work with Issa Rae, who's filmmaker slash, actor, everything. Because she honestly was and still is a role model for me as like a multi-hyphenate filmmaker, actor. She really paved the way for multi-hyphenate women to like go and do their thing. And I really respect her. So I would love to work with her one day. And an actor. Oh, I would love to work with Kristen Stewart on like a queer romantic something, like romantic drama, comedy, whatever. I don't know, but like something very queer. I think it would be really fun to work with her on.
That would be so cool to see. So we're going to be manifesting that it happens for you.
Yes.
We will have our fingers crossed. And what's a current song that you have on repeat?
Oh my God, I am obsessed with The Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish right now. So good. Like I don't know how many times I've streamed it, like every day, multiple times a day.
I cannot stop listening to that song, and for some reason it makes me cry. Like
Yeah.
there's just something so beautiful about it. And one day I was taking my puppy to her like little puppy class and I was listening to it and I start crying. I'm even like thinking of her. I'm like, it's just such a sweet song.
So sweet. It's so beautiful. Like the melodies, her arrangement, like everything about it. I was like, oh my God, like I want to make this. I want this. The song's gonna be in a movie for sure. Like I know it, and I want it to be in one of my movies.
And not to go back to what happens in Miami, but I completely skipped over a question. What was your reaction to the twist at the end? But
Oh,
not with not too many spoilers because we have some
yes.
people who haven't watched
Yeah.
it yet.
No spoilers, not yet. My reaction to the twist at the end, when I first read the script the whole way through, because interestingly enough, during the audition process, they the casting had us choose like what scenes we wanted to tape with, and which is like rare and actually very nice. And so, they kind of gave me a list of, choose some of these scenes to choose two of these scenes to like, send a tape for. And one of them was that twist. So after I read the entire script, I was shocked, honestly. Like I I feel like I'm pretty good at predicting, things in films, but I was not able to predict this one. And I was very surprised because I really didn't know where it was going. And I think it was also, again, just props to Jackie, our writer, who just, wrote such a really great script in a very interesting way, like, going from past to present, but then also not making it confusing. And she just did it so well, and still kept it very engaging throughout the way too. So I was absolutely shocked and surprised of that twist.
No, definitely. Even as viewers, I think we both felt the same way. It was very shocking, surprising, and didn't really see it coming. So it was a good one.
Right, right. I agree.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today. We had such a great time, and you're such a phenomenal actress, and we can't wait to see what's next for you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
Yes. See you later.
Thank you.